G'day and welcome to Bushcraft Tasmania. Today we're going to be taking a look at a very popular bushcrafting knife by the brainchild of Joe Flowers. It's the Condor Bushlore. The knife, developed by Joe Flowers, a well-known personality in the outdoor community. It's collaborated with people like Tops and Equipped to Endure, and he's very skilled with the machete. So this is the knife that he's developed as sort of an all-round good quality bushcrafting knife for the everyday person, and we're about to discover that it almost succeeds in that regard. The Condor Bushlore first came around the scene around about 2011. It had a much thicker spine, and also the cutting edge only extended to about where my finger is. As a consequence of the improvements made to this knife, it became very popular in 2013, 2014 when I purchased it for around about 75 Australian dollars. I've been using it on and off for the last couple of years, and I have to say that unfortunately the expectations of this knife did not live up to the hype. So before we find out the reasons for my disappointment, let's have a look at some specs. In just under 10 inches in length, the Condor Bushlore has a blade a bit shy of 4.5 inches and therefore fits into the typical bushcraft knife category. It has a blade thickness of 1/8 of an inch and weighs in at around 350 grams. Made in El Salvador, the steel is 1075 high carbon steel with a blasted satin finish and comes with either walnut or micarta. It has 2 brass pins holding the scales into place and a generous brass lanyard hole. Both the location and company name are stamped into the metal on the blade. It's a full tang drop point, almost spear point blade profile with a Scandinavian grind. The sheath is black leather with 2 brace pins, one at the top and one at the bottom. It is single stitched with a large belt loop. The leather is nice and thick and has a really thick welt along the side. There is no drainage hole, however, and the knife does ride high in the sheath. Alright, so we're about to enter the test phase of this knife, and you're going to see where this knife excels and where it really struggles. Just a small caveat before we start testing the Condor Bushlore. Out of the box, this thing is not very sharp. It comes with a scanning grind and a secondary bevel. So I had this professionally sharpened and gave it sort of a Scandi Vex grind. It made this knife edge ridiculously sharp. Alright, let's do some testing. The Scandinavian grind on the Bushlore definitely helps with feather stick making. Due to the weight of the Condor Bushlore and also the contours of the handle, you can choke up on the bottom of the handle near the pommel, and you can do some light chopping tasks. Alright, let's do this. Okay, so I'd consider this small to medium. I'm going to go with the grain. It's a lot more difficult than it looks to get through this piece of wood, actually. It's going through it, but it's a struggle. Doesn't like it. It's jammed in there. Let's see if this baby does some sparks. Right, it does, barely. So what are the pros of the Condor Bushlore knife?